Hi guys, I'm Sam and this is the Reupload podcast, and today it's episode 10 or season 2 episode 2. I'm not really counting that shit. And I have Ned and I got Declan.
I'm counting it. I like counting it. I'm a numbers man.
Ned was just saying before how he's like yeah, season 2 episode 2. But yeah, you boys want to quickly talk about yourselves, what you're doing in life. Just let the people know.
Yeah, all right. I'm Ned, aka Neptune, or as some refer to me as Daddy. No, I'm joking. What am I doing with my life? Really just doing primary school education, study at university. What else? And a few long swims here and there, and that's about it.
Happy days. Declan, yourself?
What do I do with myself? Try not to take myself too seriously. I work for Qantas and do a bunch of dumb shit, basically, which I find fun, and hang out with a bunch of idiots like Ned, which is great.
No, happy days. Yeah, I would see the Instagram photos. There's always something different.
I post a whole bunch of shit.
Oh, do you?
Brilliant.
Ned's accounts are always fucking good. I always say something good. But
should probably take it more seriously.
Mate, you're a proper swimmer. Are you considered a professional swimmer? Do you make money if you're swimming?
I've made money off them, but I don't consider myself as professional.
And with your bike riding, are you considered a
I'm just a punter. I'm a local punter, and that's me, which is fun.
That's how. Yeah, that's what it is. That's how I view it. Elite athlete. Someone says you're an elite athlete, and I view it as elite athlete as no. An elite athlete to me is you had to go to the Olympics, or you have to be up there at the top of your game competing. If some punter's rocking up at a Sunday ocean swim and winning them, and being I'm an elite athlete. Well, hold up, mate. What have you actually done?
Yeah. Fair enough. But people nowadays, everybody wants to be an athlete, and people even I just play basketball for fun, and I'm I'm an athlete. I have a mate. I'm like, sure, let's do something the other day. No, mate, I got training. I can't do anything. I got training tomorrow morning. I'm like, oh mate, you're not going pro. Shut the fuck up.
I just enjoy training.
I do as well. I feel the same. Yeah. And what got you into bike riding and swimming? You've been swimming for what, your whole life, right?
Yeah. Pretty much. What got me into swimming? I mean, I say this a bit, but both my parents were swim coaches, and everyone goes, they're the ones that got you into swimming and everything. At any point, they've always said to me you can give up, you can throw in the towel at any moment. For me, it was really just growing up, enjoying it, swimming with friends. I started doing pool events, but the thing was, because my dad was a coach, we'd go out to Homebush and we'd be out there from basically 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. It's 12 hours of your life you don't get back if you're only doing a few races.
That's fucked.
So when I got
just interrupt, I was going to say, have you met his mum Pip? His mum Pip as a swim coach would be an absolute psycho.
Have I met you? I probably
Pip Wieland, shout out. You're an absolute psycho.
I would have seen your parents around, definitely.
Love you, Pip.
Shout out to Pip.
Yeah, shout out, Mum. Thanks for getting me here. It was just growing up, and then all of a sudden my dad's like, oh, look, do you want to do these ocean swims instead? I'm like, mate, if that 12 hours out at Homebush versus 2 hours maybe out at Penrith or down at Bondi or something.
When did that first get
Yeah, I was pretty late to it, honestly. I was probably around 11 or 12.
Oh, fuck.
And that's when I started doing it, and I kind of saw these different avenues and met these people you got Des Renford there, who has a pool named after him, King of the English Channel. And you just meet these characters and just weird and wonderful people. And then would have been about my third or my fourth ocean swim. I met this kid who's just finished up. He's like, I'm the youngest male to swim young Australian male to swim the English Channel. And then I think I beat him or something. He's like, mate, this could be you could be me one day. You could do all this. And I mean, it was a dream, but dreams aren't any good left on the pillow, you know.
Oh yeah,
it's deep.
that is real deep. About the English Channel, leading up to it? Firstly, what's training like, and then why was the English Channel always the big swim goal, or is there something else you haven't done yet?
It was. I'll just take these off for a second.
Yeah, no, take them off. That's fine.
It was. I came up to my parents with it in it would have been late year 9.
So yeah.
So it would have been 14, maybe 15.
14, 15.
Yeah. And I told my dad, and he's like, yeah, mate, I know people who've done the English Channel will take you around to them. But he's basically, I didn't know what happened. Like the people he brought me around to, basically, he said to them, like, don't hold back. Like this kid, he's got a dream. I've heard the stories from it. You're almost going to crush it with what you're going to tell him. And I met these people like, yeah, it was the worst swim I've ever done. Got stung by blue bottle, or by jellyfish, had the worst chop and everything. Fuck. And every time we came away from one of those meetings, Dad's always like, are you sure you still want to do this? I'm like, yeah, mate, more than ever. I'm just going to I'm going to give it a good crack. I'm going to get out there and have a go. So, and then all of a sudden I hit year 10 and sent this bloke an email who's the pilot over there. And he's like, look, I got a slot 4 for July. Do you want to take it?
So you have to book this very in advance.
Yeah, you have to book. People book like 3-4 years in advance. And mine was only like literally like a year or 6 months.
Yeah.
And took it, and the rest is history.
Yeah, youngest Australian ever.
The youngest Australian male to swim it.
Is that still?
It's still there.
That's amazing. Like to say that even youngest, whatever it is, but to be like in Australian history. Yeah. Swimming any history, that's amazing.
What was it like when you're standing on the sand? About like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, here goes.
I mean, my training leading up for it was always just like, so I was in year 10.
Yeah, you're young.
I was basically coming to school every day, just cooked. Like I'd be up at like 4 a.m.
I remember.
Swim for 2 hours, just be cooked throughout the day, and then come home and do a gym session or another 2 hours swim in the afternoon.
Fuck, mate, you wouldn't stop, eh?
That was Monday to Friday, and then Saturdays were normally like an 8-hour swim in like Brighton Sands or Manly Dam.
Yeah.
Right. It was so miserable. And then Sundays was just like, Sabbath. Didn't do anything.
This is your leisure time.
Yeah. I went over there. It wasn't good because I went over there and I was the 4th slot. Normally the 4th slot are very lucky to get away.
So what is it like for swimming? So you do like what?
There's about.
Are they like 10-hour time slots?
Yeah,
like each person or something?
So there's 6 or 7 different boat pilots, and basically they're just fishing charters.
Yep.
And they take 4 across in 2 weeks' time. So one at a time.
Yeah.
First slot went off, second slot went, and then the third slot, the guy's like, look, this third slot's going to finish up. You're going to wait on the beach, and I'm going to be back, pick you up. The bloke in front of me took 16 hours, so the weather window closed. And I remember just being like, look, it's closed. The weather's not looking good for another week or 2. Yep. It was getting towards the end of the 2 weeks. So I'm like, I'm just going to have to go back to Sydney and basically not be able to swim it.
Fuck.
Waited 10 days around England, and then all of a sudden got the call up. It would have been 6 hours before. And he's like, we're going to go. You get your stuff ready. I'll meet you at the boat. The boat drives me over to like a pebbly beach. You swim into the beach and wait on the beach, then the hooter goes and you're off. And I mean, it was pretty nerve-wracking. I was on the edge of vomiting just because I was so like.
You would be.
Just had nerves that I've waited basically 10 days for this, and
you trained years for it, and it was. Yeah. How is it? First, how's it swimming by yourself like for that long? You're pretty much. I know you got your support team and all that, but you're in the water. Just you and the sharks. It
is, yeah. I mean, they say that it's overfished, so there's no sharks there. But it is one of those things where it's. I did a bit of night swimming for it, and they can't tell you how long you've been swimming for in case you get caught by one of the currents there.
Yeah,
if you get G'd up and you're like, yes, I'm going to gas myself here, and then the current turns and you're there swimming on the spot for like 4 hours. So I knew I started around 2 o'clock. In the afternoon. I knew that the sun went down around England around 9 o'clock, so I knew how long I was going for. I was thinking that I was going to beat the sun down, but I didn't. And I remember the sun went down and it got to like I would have been about 45 minutes off from finishing, and I was just tendonitis in my wrists, shoulders, everything just started to go. Miserable, being stung by jellyfish the whole way.
Shit.
The swell was like 6 foot, just white caps everywhere. And I just popped up. I'm like, Dad, how much longer to go? He's like, you're all right, mate. Keep going. And then, just all of a sudden, I just kind of see the lighthouse spinning.
Yeah.
Swam in, touched the cliff, swam back to the boat, and boom, done and dusted.
So then, hold on. So how far out when you could still see the lighthouse and you're like, fuck, that's where I need to get.
Well, so the stupid thing was they tell you with these long swims, don't look up because it's like you see it and you're like, oh, I'm almost there. I was pretty stupid because I got 5 hours in. I looked up.
too bad.
4 hours and a half to go or so, and then I was just it was long.
But it feels, if the whole 10 hours, you feel it, would you say?
Yeah. So I did it in 9 hours, 45 minutes.
45, yeah.
Yeah. It was just long, miserable swimming.
What did you eat after it?
I remember I got on the boat
Yeah.
and I think I did a call to Mum. I can't remember. I think I did.
So just Dad was with you?
Yeah, just Dad.
Yeah.
2 of his other mates came over to like support me.
Yeah.
And then they had to go back because the weather window closed. So just Dad and I. And the rest, the rest of like the skipper and the boat pilots were there and everything. So they supported me like with it the whole way. But it was just miserable swimming. It was tough.
Leading up, like, were you allowed to like eat a lot? Like, what?
I ate a fair bit leading up to it. So like that was the thing. I had like a channel nutritionist for it, and obviously you got to get fat for it. But like when they tell a young fat kid that he's got to smash ice cream, it's like the best day ever. So yeah,
can't complain, eh?
And you got to train.
Yeah,
it's hectic.
So what about your sporting career? So like as I did stalk both of you a little bit. And I saw the Randwick rugby. Do you still do that, or tell me about your rugby journey?
My background is I just played cricket and footy. Played cricket my whole life basically, and I kind of had to make a choice when I finished up school. Yeah. Whether I'd pursue rugby or pursue cricket basically after school, and I was like, look, cricket attracts the biggest freak shows under the sun besides swimmers. So I just opted for.
You got to numb your mind if you're out on the pitch for however long.
I picked rugby and basically just went and played a whole bunch of footy down at Randwick for a number of years, which was great fun. Met a whole bunch of really good mates, and I was heavily involved with the club for a fair while. So I joined sort of Randwick 2012, and then finished up sort of 2019 ish, and then got pretty involved with the club. Fortunately, won some of my best mates. Like I live with them now, playing for the Super Rugby or playing for I suppose the Wallabies and whatnot. So that was awesome. I really enjoyed it. And then played a little bit of sevens stuff, which was good fun. And then
sevens is fun. Love to watch it.
Just injuries just basically just falling apart. And I was like, look, basically I was like, look, I'm sick and tired of having to try and turn up to work on a Monday with a busted shoulder or a busted knee and or a concussion. And I was like, nah, this is just not worth it. I can't do my job. So then I was like, well, what else can I do? Sort of got into a bit of running, and then just sort of bled into a bit of cycling, and still learning how to swim. That's basically about it.
So I looked at, and you've done just one Ironman? Is that?
Yeah,
just one.
By the way, it's the biggest. No. So
it's
pretty funny. So
this is the funniest thing I've ever watched.
Did you go and see it?
No, I just watched it through Instagram, and it was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
It's fucked. So
he came to me like a few weeks before, and he's like, mate, like I can't swim, and I got to swim 3.8 k's. Look, I'll do my best here. He went up to another boy, and another boy helped him out a bit as well. But just watching this through Instagram was just the worst thing you've ever seen, and watching the updates. He had a good crack, but it was just seeing him in a state of full delusion, like just losing your mind, weren't you? Just melting down.
Man, it's pretty funny. I was like, I knew. So what happened was, I eventually basically ran myself into the ground, ended up with stress fractures all through my pelvis.
Fuck. How long's the? How long?
So it's a 3.8k swim, 180k bike, and then a marathon run.
Oh, fuck that.
So 42 off the bike.
Jesus Christ.
The best part was I watched watching the Instagram and everything.
Yeah.
And he's gone out to swim, had a pretty solid bike leg, and hops off the bike just looking broken, just head like that.
Hobbling.
Someone goes on the Instagram video, he's starting off with the run, and it goes, well done, Declan, you're almost there. It's like, no, he's not. He's got to run a marathon now.
Too bad. Like 42 k's
left, mate. You're not almost there.
Did you enjoy it? Like, at any part, or did after you did it, what was the mindset after?
I couldn't walk. I was fucked. Yeah. I was like, so I knew that I couldn't run. I suppose the precursor to the story was I knew that I couldn't run from so it was on the 6th of June, so I couldn't run on the 24th of May, and I was like, I can't. My hip is busted. I thought I'd torn like a hemi tendon or something like that. And I was like, oh look, it's sort of take a week off and just let it settle down. Didn't go away. Tried running, did like a 2 or 3k jog before, like a couple of days out, just to sort of test the legs, and I was like, I am toast. Didn't get any scans. Didn't really want to know what the damage was. I was like, I'm too far gone, and may as well just do this thing. Fuck it. If I have to fucking walk this thing or hobble it in, I'll just do it. So that's what I did. So I was kind of like just shuffling along. Basically, I couldn't run. I remember coming out of the water. I remember going down the stairs actually to get in the car, and I remember going down the stairs being like, oh my God, my like pelvis, like my hip, like my right hip is like toast. And I was thinking like, you're about to go basically do the hardest race you've ever signed up to do, and you can't go downstairs. How the fuck are you going to do this? And I was like, oh, well, fuck, I'm just going to suffer.
I was looking at the weather as well. It was like good 38 degrees. Wasn't
it was hot. It was in Cairns. It was in Cairns. It's fun. I'll definitely do another. I probably have one more left in me. I need redemption. I can't just settle on that. The whole thing is like, how can you squeeze in sort of, I suppose, a lot of like 15, 20 hour training weeks in with life.
Full-time work, life.
Full-time work, life, study. If you're studying, it's like it becomes tricky.
You've got to be sleep deprived.
Yeah, literally.
Live your life sleep
literally. So what was like the training and stuff before it? How were you training a lot? Were you?
Yeah, training.
Would you say were you prepared before the injury happened?
I'd always kind of like backed that I could just. I suppose I always enjoyed running and stuff like that. Yeah. I was like running. Once I'm on land, I'm sweet. Cycling, sweet. Running, sweet. In the water is fucking terrible.
Need to show them more, mate.
Yeah, I'm like,
you can lead a horse to water.
Yeah, no, I'm too far gone. Don't bother trying to teach me to swim. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna just be miserable for God knows how long, for 10 plus 12 hours, just and figure it out. So then. It was pretty cool. It was a cool event. I did it with a few mates, and
well, that's good. You at least didn't do it by yourself.
Yeah, no, exactly right. So it was. I do one more, but I do it completely differently. I wouldn't do what I did previously. I'd like have a very sort of regimented approach as to how and when I would want to peak, because I was like, it was actually quite funny. I was actually probably fitter at the point when I signed up to the Ironman as opposed to doing the Ironman. So when I signed up 6 months before, I was like at my optimal peak fitness, and I was like feeling really good, and I was like, oh, sweet, this Ironman won't be too bad. Like, I'm in decent shape now. I'm really going to increase on that, but it actually didn't work out that way. I just broke myself. So my brain was, my body broke, and then I just kept pushing through it, which I didn't listen. So I'd probably do a lot less, and then figure that that's a lot more.
Oh yeah, I would imagine very mentally drained, physically drained, emotionally drained, just drained everywhere.
It's pretty fun.
I've channeled it in some of my swims because I watched that Instagram video over and over.
Just don't be like Declan.
It was just one of my mates who was over there sent me a message. I sent him a message like, "Oh, how's Declan looking?" He's like,
"Fucking terrible.
His soul has left his body."
It's pretty funny. I had my watch, so like you see in your watch, and you see your times, and you're like, "Oh," I'm like, "Okay, get to the run." Got like 15 k's in the run. It wasn't even a fucking run. I was shuffling. I was like, I don't need to see this shit. Threw it to one of my mates who was, it was actually my physio, he's actually training for an Ironman now, Paddy Mack. Just threw my watch to Paddy, and he probably had about 12 schooners and then 20 by the end of the night, waiting for me. Threw my watch, and I was like, mate, I don't need to see this shit. So he was like, oh, I've got a cool watch. Fuck you going slow. I was just like, I'll just shuffle along and get this thing done.
Yeah.
So it's pretty funny. It's a good story. It's a good story basically about how do you not do your first Ironman.
When they say, and it's also when they say that, like, when you feel as if you're broken, like you're at that peak of breaking. You still have 70% left. You still have that 70%.
You can just keep pushing on. It's amazing what the human body can endure in terms of like withstand pain. Like,
so what did you end up doing with the? Do you know what you did with the hip?
With the hip, I ended up having like full-blown stress fractures and fractures all through my pelvis, the right side of my sacrum.
Shit.
So I was like, I went and finally got it scanned. When I got scanned, doc said, was like, mate, can you like touch your toes? Can you hop? And this is when I was feeling good. This is a month after. I was like, this would have been 30 times worse like in the lead up to the Ironman, and then obviously excruciating after. I was like, oh, my hip's fucked. Like I knew it was no good. And then, he was like, you have like fissures basically all through your right side of the sacrum. And I was like, what? I didn't believe him. And then he's like, yeah, mate, have a look at this. And you can see all these sort of stress fractures.
Fuck, like, okay.
So he's like, look, worst case scenario is you keep running on it, you keep pushing on it, you would keep doing more, you eventually crack your pelvis and we have to pin your pelvis back together. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, congrats. That's like a battle scar. Like, that's a badge of honor if you really want. I'm like, I can't even run. Fuck that. I'd rather just be able to get downstairs without pain.
Is that your worst injury you reckon you've ever done?
Oh, God.
Same with you, Ned. Like, what do you reckon is your worst injury?
Actually, no, it's actually, I can say this because it really can footy. Like, it's just concussions. Like,
Mate, I know.
Yeah, it's just the concussions. That's the only reason really why. And I was like, I actually can't think properly because of having like multiple concussions in a short period of time. And I was like, right, I need my brain for future life.
So is that why you quit footy? Like the concussion was the main reason?
Partly, but like I was gonna say at the same time, I had a broken collarbone and a broken hand, and
fuck me.
I've had both legs. I've had both legs put back together with screws and plates and whatnot. So I'm like,
non-weight bearing sports. Like touch wood.
Yeah.
I haven't got really bad injury. I mean, obviously you get slight like little niggles when you do swims.
Yeah.
But you're just pumping painkillers every 4 hours. you're just eating them like lollies after a while, so they're gone. Like you had a shoulder pain.
Is that when Jared's making you mix?
Yeah. So on my Bondi swim, one of my mates, I was probably like 8 hours into it.
Yeah.
And
Shout out to Jared Port.
So is that like all around Bondi?
Nah.
Like,
so what I did was there was Bondi's like historical for like the channel swimmers and everything.
Yeah.
The previous record was set by a North Bondi bloke back in 1948 for 12 laps.
Yeah.
And then all throughout history, it's gone John Curry, like 40 laps. Tammy's done 50. And then it's gone basically 50 for, who was it? Des Renford. And all of them. And then Chloe McCardle, who's just done 44 laps, 44 crossings of the English Channel.
Jesus.
Yeah. So she did 60 back in 2000, and like obviously she's on top of her game and everything. And me just wanting to take the piss, I'm just like, I'm just gonna do 62. So 62.
I told him to do 69. I was like, do 69.
Yeah, that would be hilarious.
Yeah, I thought of going 69 and then even 70. And I remember being about 8 hours in, just miserable. Like I walked down that morning, it was beautiful, like Lake Bondi.
Oh yeah, I saw the photo.
You don't see it much any better than that. And nice. I knew this big Wesley was going to start blowing up 50 k's an hour, just not going to be nice. But I thought if I crack the back of this, got about 20 laps in, feeling pretty good, 30, and about it would have been lap 40. I started kind of hurting a little bit, and then my mate Jared Port, who's obviously dual Olympian.
So that's the dual Olympian, Jared.
Yeah. He goes, I've made this mix for you. You got to take a sip of this drink, and he's throwing like 4 Neuromols in, so four painkillers, 2 No-Dos, mixed up with Powerade, and I've taken a sip, and I've just spat out, what the fuck is that? And then all of a sudden my body's gone numb, so it was alright. It's probably so bad for just every internal organ ever.
I read about that. That was like. That was all for charity, the whole swim.
Yeah.
Was it 20?
Every swim I do is for Are You Okay?
Why Are You Okay? Because I remember like back in the day that you were really invested into it.
It was my first. So what happened was when I was younger, I was always doing these ocean swims, and this bloke was on the line with me, who was probably about 10 years older than me. But he told me always how to do like these ocean swims and everything. Then one day, like, he wasn't on the line with me anymore, and I was upset. Like, sad to hear that he took his life.
Fuck.
Basically,
Sorry
it would have been
that.
when I finished up the swim, maybe a week later.
Shit, sorry
so
about that.
I would have been maybe 12, and you know when you're in year 5, year 6, and you can't really grasp the fact of why someone commits suicide.
Yeah.
So then, I mean, it toiled on my mind for a few years that you gotta spread that mental health message more than ever.
You have to,
especially now with the ongoing lockdowns, but.
Oh, mate,
for any of my swims, my first big swim was the Bondi to Watson's Bay swim, and at the time Xavier Slezak, one of the boys, had leukemia. So I raised money. I think it was with maybe $1,300 or something for the Leukemia Foundation. So I was pretty happy with that. And then the next year, that was when I was like, okay, I got to raise money for mental health. I did it with Beyond Blue, and I got a bit of recognition, but they weren't great. And then I was like, well, I'm going to Waverley next year. Yeah. Let's do it for Are You Okay? Because they're heavily associated with Waverley.
Yeah, with Gus Larkin.
Yeah, and I sent the lady Marianne Larkin an email, and she was just like, yeah, get behind this. Sent me all her gear and everything. and was just like, yeah, we'll set up everything. Don't you worry, you just swim.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, well, these guys are legends. Like, these guys just take me on board. Got me to do a few speaks here and there, like talks, and I'm pretty happy with that. So then, it was just every year I try and do a challenge myself for Are You Okay? So 2017 was obviously the English channel. 2018 was Catalina channel and around Manhattan Island.
The New York.
Yeah, and then 2019 I was in year 12, but I did a 20k swim at Coogee there. 2020 I walked from Bondi to Bundeena with a few mates.
What? What were you thinking?
Yeah, that was a long one. And obviously last year was what's it called? Bondi lap.
The Bondi
62
one.
Bondi laps after 11 hours and 45 minutes. So I was successful.
How long did it take you to walk from Bondi to Bundeena?
Why?
13 hours.
And why did you do it?
You just like we wore our Are You Okay shirts and everything, and I think the best thing of that was we didn't raise much money. We might not even raise any. Yeah. But one of the guys was like saw us at Bondi at like 3 a.m. I'm pretty sure he was on a bender or something.
Abstract.
And then was driving back to Bundeena for something, and he pulls over at the end like when we're finishing our walk. He's like, I saw you guys at Bondi at 3 a.m. in the morning, and all of a sudden you guys are in Bundeena and it's 4 p.m. He's like, what the fuck are you guys doing? I'm like, well, we're just doing a walk to like a mate's place here for a good like little holiday away. But we're also like raising awareness for Are You Okay? He's like, oh mate, I love that. Like so many people are out there battling demons, and like you guys just wore all your Are You Okay shirts from Bondi to Bundeena, and there was so many people that saw that and probably needed to see that. So it's just like,
No, it's horrible. No.
It's really interesting actually. Like I suppose.
It's good. It's good you do all that stuff though. It's really good.
It's more more prevalent than ever. Like even the conversations I'm having with people last week and this week, just with work, it's like everyone's still on house arrest and lockdown. Everyone's just like going a bit stir crazy, and their mental health's absolutely compromised. So the more awareness, I think, and the more stories that people can actually talk about it and feel open to talking about it, the better.
It needs to be talked about. Like I never knew anybody that committed suicide all through school, and then I found out a couple of years ago this kid I used to play footy with committed suicide, and I never thought of it. And what's that saying? It's the people you don't think. You know what I mean? Not even anybody, obviously, but then you find out someone you would never expect it. And that's with the I OK message. Is all it is asking you're okay, and that's just one step. But then, obviously, you would know more about this. Being close to them,
follow it up. And, but the biggest one for the Bondi swim was it would have been going into 2021. I knew I wanted to do a big challenge, and with 2021 coming through, obviously the lockdowns and everything, there was a bloke in mine and in my brother and your brother's year, Finn Hockey, who took his life, and it was that thing that hit me because he was literally he was up the coast. He was always used to be up in Terrigal around Christmas time. The year before with us and surfing, and then to normally be back around Nan's place up in North Avoca for Christmas, and for him not to be there. And I'm like, well, North Bondi, I've grown up around there. That's a place that Finn's grown up around as well. I've always had a chat to this kid. I always liked this kid. I know I got to get out there and just spread awareness. But it was for Finn, but it was for everyone who was struggling.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Yeah, now this year going into it, Molokai in June. So get out there.
Get soon.
Get Are You Okay International. Molokai. What's it named after?
What's Molokai named after?
Who is Molokai?
It's named after an island, but the real, like what they call the channel there is the Channel of Bones, because so many so many of
great place to swim.
Hawaiian, like the islanders have lost their lives trying to travel between those islands.
Castaway.
Yes, so that's the goal. So between Molokai and Oahu Island over in Hawaii, they're normally paddled 52 k's. So I'm going to give it a crack swimming, at least nice and warm, but there's a few big fish in there.
What's the water temperature?
Oh mate, over there. It'd be nice.
Well, that's the thing.
It's summer. It's summer.
Yeah, when you're there. Summer. So late June, summer. It's going to be pretty warm. Probably around pool temperature, around 28 degrees. And the outside temp's going to be like high 30s.
Yeah.
Probably even hit 40s.
So it's probably going to end up being most of a night swim, which is going to be a little bit scary. Anyway, someone's got to do it.
What do you think?
What are most of swim? Go on,
I was just going to ask. Well, what do you think when you're swimming during the night? Like what's the difference between day swimming and night swimming?
And what do you rather?
Someone asked me this other day. Swimming, it's so different when you... I mean, obviously I don't do cycling or running, but because swimming is literally head in, head out of the water, the first few hours is just like singing songs to yourself and just getting over it. Like for the Bondi swim, I think I just listened to 36 Chambers going down the beach, just Wu-Tang the whole way, just getting that villain mindset.
Wu-Tang is life.
Yeah, Wu-Tang it forever. And that was the thing. Now it's just singing songs to yourself, but then after around 4 hours, it's really weird. You go into like a meditative state.
Yeah.
It's honestly like you're just focusing on your breath and what's happening and everything, and you kind of come in and out of that for a bit. Like I've had a few weird ones where it's almost like an astral projection, like you're over your body watching yourself swim. And this is a bit scary, but anyway, it's pretty odd feeling because and night swimming is a bit freaky at first, but then once you like obviously you do have a bit of fear of sharks, but like when you're like 20 k's into a swim and you're just hurting all over you, just like I submit, you can take me.
You're like too bad. I couldn't care less. That's a cheap option.
Take my arm off. You'd be doing me a favour.
Oh, that's funny.
Do you find swimming like quite therapeutical? Like is any of the part you're like any of like the 10 hours or however long this next one where you reckon how long of it do you reckon you enjoy, or do you honestly enjoy the whole?
Obviously, enough of anything is like unhealthy.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, swimming is. I've grown up around like the surf club and everything.
Yeah.
And I think the greatest thing that I see down at the surf club is they have the coffee club down there. And every day I used to go down, like drop my surfboard or my board down, or even just like a swim bag down there. And the coffee club used to be there. Like these were old Waverley boys, like back in the 60s, even a few old Scots boys there, and then some boys out from the country. And they're all like 70, all the way up to almost 90. There's a few 60-year-olds, and I'll be down there, drop a bag, and they're like, mate, what are you doing? It's a beautiful day. Just wag school. Like, you're not learning anything today. Look at that. The surf's pumping. And they go out for their swim, and they're just down there. Like, they'll invite me in. They're like, oh, mate, come have a coffee with us. And I think the thing is, like, watching how, like, the ocean just brings them all together. And, like you could just be having the shittest day ever, and you go for a swim in, like, even a pool or an ocean. It's not even enough to, like, spin the arms over. It's just dip in and out. You feel 10 times better.
I completely agree. Just rinsing, like you can just rinse your day off.
Yeah.
It's like the ocean's that like one filter, you just like bang, I can just...
The community seems great for swimming, like especially like seeing how like seeing on Instagram, seeing how you're meeting Olympians, and you're saying then you talk about your mates just going for like a swim like with the boys and stuff. It seems like the community, it's large, and you're close, like especially when you've done your big swims, and you're seeing, oh god, I can't, there was that one swimmer you put up recently on your Instagram, I can't remember who it was, and
Jared.
Most of us swimmers, we're very socially inept.
Yeah,
we're very socially awkward. I can
weird.
say that for myself. Like I can sit down next to a person who've like known for a bit and just not speak to them and be sweet with it. They might find it offensive, but like for me, I don't care. Like I've dealt with just swimming by myself for 10 plus hours.
Ned has
it's a very lonely sport.
Declan will call me up and be like, Ned, tell me something. I just be like, Declan, I haven't got time.
So I don't have any brain capacity left. So basically, you're basically using all of Ned's weekend's words in this podcast.
Yeah.
I'm going to go out for a beer after and
just be like, I'm fucking so tired.
Just be like, fuck, done my week's talking.
And for the next swim, are you doing swimming for Are You Okay again?
Yeah, I'll swim for Are You Okay again. I'll continue to push that.
Yeah.
They're very good there. I do like the Are You Okay golf days or Are You Okay day chats. And the people that you meet there. I think the most eye-opening one was I went to this construction crew who do like big mines out West Way. And their suicide rate was mega.
It's bad. Like it's high, mate. Yeah.
It was mega. And I was just in there and I was just like, fuck, this is bad. Like, someone's got to be out there. So, yeah.
What's the worst, or what's the most like hectic, like open water ocean swimming story or yarn you've heard about someone getting stuck in a current and just having to like battle through it, or like
biggest challenge?
Like what's something that's like completely out there that's like holy shit? Of a yarn.
I've heard a few. I heard someone. This was ages ago. Well, like obviously there's one of the blokes, Dean Summers, who's gonna swim from Newcastle to Sydney at the end of February. So it's going to take him like 40 plus hours basically 2 days.
Would you do something like that?
Nah, I couldn't get my mind around something like that. Maybe in the future when I'm old. If my shoulders are still hanging on.
In the old days.
But his one for Molokai, he was swimming, obviously started throughout the night and started swimming, and there was a big, like 16-foot shark just cruising underneath him. And they called him over. They're like, mate, this big shark's underneath you. You got to get, like, do you want to get out? He's like, oh, like, I've been swimming throughout the night. I don't know how long it's been under me for. I'll just keep going. I think it took him like 16 hours of swimming, maybe more. But basically, yeah, he swam until he hit the reef shelf and the shark just took off. And then, I mean, the other one was the English Channel. I heard someone hit like a sandbank like halfway through and thought they finished. They were only like 5 hours into the swim.
Shit.
Jumped off the sandbank, kept swimming.
What's your biggest challenge you faced in like one of your big ocean swims?
Talking to people after it.
Yeah, definitely. Just trying to get my mind around what I got to say.
Yeah.
Say nice things about people.
Yeah.
No, my biggest. I saw there was a little hammerhead on our Bondi swim, which was pretty cool to see right underneath us. It wasn't that big. It was probably around 2 and a bit, maybe close to 3 meters.
Were you swimming with other people?
Yeah, there was a few people beside me. So I mean, it was pretty cool to see a hammerhead shark. For me at the moment, I mean, when I was in year 11, I started dropping all this weight and just couldn't figure out why I was dropping so much weight. And I went into the doctors after a few months and they're like, mate, you got type 1 diabetes. And I only took myself in because I was doing a PE assignment on it at the time.
Oh, yeah.
And I was looking at all these symptoms. I'm like, fuck, I reckon I got this thing. And took myself in. He's like, yep, there you go. So for me at the moment, it's just trying to manage my diet and my feeding. Obviously, you have your drinks every 45 minutes and they can be pretty carb heavy. So it's trying to manage all that around the long swims and sort it out so that I don't my blood sugar doesn't go low and I cark it, or I don't go too high. And
what happens so does that just mean more ice cream or less ice cream?
Less ice cream, basically, yeah.
Spewing. That's hectic.
Yeah, that's fucked. I didn't know about that. I didn't know you had diabetes.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah, I mean, could be worse.
Yeah, no, yeah.
So what was the trigger that like led you? You just started losing like, I don't know, 2 kilos a week or something?
I'm at 80 kegs now. Let's say in year 11, I would have been around 78.
Yeah.
And I dropped to 67 kegs.
Shit.
And my dad, like, I took off my shirt. My dad's like, mate, you're not losing fat anymore. You're losing muscle. Like, like my pinky and my thumb could touch around my wrist.
Yeah.
And I was just like, look, I'm doing an assignment on this right now for PE. And I came up to my mum. My mum's like, mate, you just got an electrolyte imbalance. You're sweet. You just got to have more electrolytes. So I had like a few Powerades.
Get on the Gatorades, mate.
Nah, I'm pissing, like I'm urinating 5 times a night. I'm losing heaps of weight.
Yeah.
I don't feel sick, but I feel like I had to drink all this water. I had to go to the toilet all the time. And that was basically my body's way of saying like, oh, your blood, you've got more sugar in your blood than you've got blood. So it was trying to water it down basically. So went in and sorted out, and they're like, mate, we don't know how you got this. We reckon you might have been born with it, or you might have got it from swimming in Manhattan, but it's life.
Swimming in Manhattan.
What? Explain with that, like what?
Yeah, it's pretty like, so Manhattan, you start obviously down the bottom, like towards Statue of Liberty.
This is a good conspiracy.
Oh wait,
if you got it.
Swimming from Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, so you start at the bottom, so it's like what is it, like the southern end, I guess. Manhattan. Then you swim up towards Upper Harlem and then around, then down the Hudson.
Yeah.
But for me, it was, everyone's like, oh yeah, Manhattan's sweet. Like the water's quality is sweet there now. Like people have ended up on drips after it and everything. And it was fine, but there was a bit of a heat wave before it. Normally this Hudson has a bit of a flow going down it. And I swam up, and obviously you get up towards Harlem, and all these like just African Americans come out, and you get up towards Harlem, they're all just yelling at you from the side.
Go white boy.
Well, like a bit of that, but I think they're more just gobsmacked of like, why are you swimming in there? Like, do you know what's happened in this harbour before? Like, there's a few Glocks at the bottom, probably a few bodies as well.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, I swam pretty hard, hit the Hudson, but it was, the water temp was 28 because there was a heat wave and there was no flow down the Hudson.
Yeah, New York gets hot, eh?
Yeah, just hit this wall of just lactic acid and just couldn't spin my arms over down the Hudson, so I was just going really slow, just cruising. And after 8 hours and 6 minutes or something, so yeah.
That's so cool swimming like New York. I've been there twice, and like you're naming like the stuff like the Statue really like I went up the top once. That's amazing, and then you fucking swam around there. That's so sick, bro. That's actually hectic. And wait, you want to tell us about your Kansas biking? Tell us about like what like why Kansas and why this specific thing. And
I signed up.
Wants to go see the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah. Fuck. Hopefully I can find her or it at 300 k's in. No, I just it's probably not dissimilar to Ned. I'm like just want to try and challenge myself. Do something each year.
Yeah.
So then I was like, what's the hardest, the most like renowned gravel bike race?
Is this like, so this is the toughest one?
Yeah, so I threw myself into the lottery. I had like a day's notice to throw myself into this like entry lottery.
Yeah.
And then they pick out, obviously, all the competitors out of the back of the lottery. So fortunately enough, they must have seen like, token Australian, middle of nowhere. I've ran the event in the last few years, but it's only been sort of Americans.
Yep.
So then, fortunately enough, got the lottery ticket, and then so I was like, okay, give this thing a real nudge. So it's 200 miles.
What's that? Do you know what that is?
It's about sort of 330, 320 k's.
Wow, crazy, bro.
I think I might go over with you actually. Yeah, might go just
go.
Acclimatise before Molokai.
Go watch.
So it's at altitude as well. It's like 1,800 meters or something as well. I think the starting point.
Does it get hot in Kansas?
Stinking hot. It'll be middle of summer.
Shit.
So I'll be like melting.
Actually, I sent one of the pool supervisor an email the other day. I'm like, is there any possible lane space or squad? She actually responded, so I got to have a chat to you about that. I think I might be going over.
Yeah, it'd be stinking hot, and I was like, you know what? I'll just have bottles, obviously with bottles, and you can refill it at the stations. Mm-hmm. And then a Camelback. I'll just have like my Camelback.
Yeah.
And then I'll just be suffering. I'll probably get to like 200. I'll get fit enough, and I'll get to like 200 k's, 250. Then I'll just be trying to hold on from there. But you hear yarns about people just blowing up, and it's like that's pretty much going to be me at some stage.
Oh, everything's gonna fucking hurt as well.
So I've done that distance over on road.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't not at the moment. I'd feel comfortable, but like eventually, I'd be very comfortable in the lead up to be able to do that distance on road, but.
So like for the lead up, at the moment you're doing like I don't know like 20k for example, and then you're gonna lead up to 100k.
Yeah, I generally go on sort of more so time at the moment. If I can sort of spend 15 to 20 hours a week cycling.
What's your longest ride in the Terradome at?
The Terradome Centennial. The Rage Cage would be. It's not that long. Probably only like 120 maybe. Not that long.
120.
I'd lose my mind otherwise. Actually no, probably be like maybe 140. One of our mates basically just thought it'd be a great idea to go and do 200.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
So there's like a time record, and he was like, I'm just gonna go do 200 k's basically in a TT, like on a time trial bike.
Yeah.
Flying around. So he went and decided to do that. I was like, my brain would go numb.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, that was like at 2 a.m. in the morning because we had a 24-hour pub crawl after that. So we started at 6.
Mate,
I was in Bronte Pool at 3 a.m. He was in Centennial Park at 2 a.m.
in circles.
And he's just
psychos.
White line fever.
So yeah, that'll be in so 5th of June, I think it is. 4th of June is the Kansas bike race. And then I'll pretty much it'd be interesting. I'd be really curious because how my body responds to altitude, because it's just different here. So, and the heat's obviously something huge as well to be able to sort of.
Mate, one in like Utah, for example, that'd be cooked.
But it'd be pretty sick. I'd like to do a bikepacking trip and kind of just knock off. Like I actually mapped out Bondi to Broken Hill, and I've sort of been mapping this out potentially as like a training sort of set. So you sort of just chip away, sort of 160 to sort of 250 k's a day till you hit Broken Hill, and then get basically the train back. So that's like a 6-day trip out, but I just need to think through some logistics sort of west of Dubbo, because there's no stops. Like it's all self-sufficient, all self-sustained. So if you get stuck out there, if you get flat, or if something goes wrong, you're kind of fucked.
See you later, mate.
Pretty much. And then road trains, because like all the road trains with all the cattle and crop, and it's pretty hectic. It's dead flat, like it's like 100 meters elevation across like 200 k's.
Is this like your first like big like race? Have you done like other ones?
This would be this would be the first big gravel race.
Yeah.
First big gravel race. I've done like bike races and big road races, but it's different. It's a different beast. So gravel is like it feels like you almost yeah, you just go. It's just you don't know how you know the roll. You get more rolling resistance, so you're going slower. So it just makes it harder. But then it's also like the uniqueness of it. You're always concentrating because
do you reckon you get it like that vibrating in your hands?
Yeah, you're just constantly shuddering and shaking, which is sick. So I was like, at the moment, I've just been fucking flying around in circles.
Is there shocks on the front?
No, but like you pretty much because you got like a big fat mountain bike tire, you have it's just obviously like sort of half pumped up effectively. So you get more shock absorption.
If you got to like live a second life, what do you reckon your next sport would be?
God. Yeah, what would it? So what you done? Footy? So was it footy, cricket, bike riding?
Footy, cricket. You know what'd be sick? I think if I was if you could ever, I reckon if you could ever master a skill, it'd be boxing.
Oh, I fell in love with it for a bit.
Vasil Lomachenko.
He's a weapon.
Like if I was to say like there's a second life and you had a dad like his old man, like that'd be lit. Like
being part of the Fury family, that would be quite cool.
Not that I want to, the whole concept. I'm like I don't want to get punched in the face.
No, I'm the same.
But if I have the skills to be able to avoid that, yet participate in it, it's like you're another level. Like crazy. Absolutely.
Same question back at you. If you could play any other sport, did you play much sport? Like when we were at school, you know, we said do winter, summer. Were you just swimming that whole time? Were you doing?
No. I grew up doing obviously swimming, and then I went into water polo. I played.
Yeah, that's right.
I played footy for a bit, but then water polo. Like I was getting a few.
Footy, mate.
I was getting just like I was coming off like footy and water polo, just like shoulders were custard basically, and I was just like, if I want to do this, I got to just go swimming, relax on these two sports a bit. But I mean, if there was anyone that I could take up, I think boxing would definitely be up there. I think now that's like surfing or something, like big wave surfing, I reckon would be sick.
Mate,
that'd be hectic.
Like, obviously, you got to be good at your breath holds and everything like that. Imagine just like out there, just.
Mate, that the Bra Boys, the Bra Boys documentary? There was Mark Matthews saying that.
Yeah.
It's insane. Some of the waves. You have to be psycho to like, mate. You doing these like 20, 30, 40 foot, some insane height.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's just there's some just people out that have no fear. It's
mate.
Yeah.
Tip my hat to that.
No, when I was in Hawaii, we went past Pipeline, and we've done that like 3 or 4 times. Every time we've done it, Pipeline's dead. No waves, completely fat. First time ever. It was actually like, I think they're like 10 foot or something. Yeah, right. Just but
is it packed? It would have been chockers.
No, it wasn't. Still pretty empty.
I went to when I was, this would have been like 2014 or something.
Yeah.
Went to, obviously, we always used to spend like our holidays over in Turtle Bay.
Yeah.
Went to Pipeline, it was like 6 foot. And I remember just being out there sholdder hopping, and I was just shaking. I was like, this is so scary, because like the reef there is pretty shallow.
Oh, it's cooked. Yeah. And then there's the other beach next to it, Bonsai?
What's it called? There's like Sunset.
Sunset, that one. That reef's cooked.
That one's big. That was solid.
Never been. There you go.
You got it. Have you been to Hawaii?
Never been to Hawaii.
I'll take you.
You gotta go. So
take me one day, mate.
Are you gonna go and watch his swim after?
Yeah, I'll just come and laugh at him.
Yeah, you should.
Throw shit at him and just be like, "Good luck, mate. You'll be right." This is your leisure time,
mate. Let's see. What else can we do? Okay. So what's like the process of like when organising like these big race and then.
His is more coordinated than mine. Yeah. Mine's just like pick something dumb. And I'm okay, that sounds like a challenge.
Happy days, go for it.
Yeah. Give myself a few months to work towards it and do that. So yeah, I'm trying to line up a few races beforehand just to sort of keep myself. You
got to be prepared.
Yeah.
Somewhat
prepared.
Yeah. Similar. Yeah. It's just trying to line up races before it as training swims. But then obviously like these long swims are just. Like you don't think that swimming's expensive, but when you're trying to like book a boat and then paddlers for it, it ends up being a fair bit. So now it's just trying to line up any potential sponsors or anything, and maybe even traveling with Declan because he's with Qantas Airlines, and I'm pretty sure we can get
that cheeky flight. Sponsor Ned for a flight, surely.
Shout out to Qantas sponsoring Ned Wieland.
Have you sponsored you in the past? Have you like Speedo or someone?
Speedo, they've offered to give me a few race suits and everything.
Yeah.
If I could get sponsored by a clothing brand, I'd be frothing.
Mate,
but
surely.
No, it's actually Rod and Gun did hit me up.
Did they?
After the Bondi swim, so I'm on like their mailing list. So
I'll take that.
So I got to email them back. But anyway, it's just at the moment it's just trying to set them up. The previous ones, obviously, Cobden and Hasten, where my uncle works, which is real estate over Drummoyne Way. Who else? Are You Okay helped me out with a few swims. Obviously, Port to Pub over in WA swim, 25k swim. Then my swim club Tivoli, obviously, they do a bit. Then who else would there be?
Shout out to Fitzy, Pillar.
Fitzy, they were big. I can't believe I almost forgot these guys. Basically, when I was training for my Bondi swim, I was down swimming at Camp Cove in the harbour.
Yeah.
This other bloke that Declan knew, Fitzy, Damien Fitzpatrick, who with Pillar Performance. Just kind of like, I was having a chat to Declan, and he was like, I just told him like what I wanted to do, and he's like, yeah, mate, I'll get behind it. And then they just had the most mint setup for this Bondi swim. Yeah. And just got behind it. So, yeah, I'll meet up with them and see if they can, like, obviously help me out with any just like bottles or anything for the trip. And, like, I'd love to get like their bloke, Jules. Yeah, he was sick behind the camera. If we could get him or someone over from Pillar to film it, because he was good on the camera.
Good man.
Yeah. That'd be cool. And what, like, you just have it like live, chuck it on Instagram or something, or like how?
Yeah, good question.
Yeah,
I don't know what Jules could do. So it's funny, Jules is actually like a S&C. He was at the Waratahs, and then kind of carved off, and then went and did a whole bunch of marketing and media stuff. So now he does some of this stuff, and then also does a bit of boxing and just likes.
Does he?
Yeah,
Mad dog.
Likes getting around a whole bunch of sick shit.
I saw he started up his own clothing brand as well.
Yeah, mate, Buddy, awesome.
Yeah,
mate, he just does a whole bunch of sick stuff.
You have to. I'll wear it next episode. You have to get me a t-shirt.
I need to get some stuff. It'd be sick. So it's funny because Fitzy's probably similar to me in the sense that like we sort of had a very similar sort of upbringing in terms of where we went to school and whatnot, and then the sports we played. So he was like played professional rugby for a sort of best part of 15 years, I'd say, and then. But swimming was like his thing at school. He loved swimming. So
I've never seen, because like obviously I've been like doing these long swims for a few years, and I told him about it. He was really the first ever person to get on board. Be like, yeah, I'll get down. Had like the tent set up, had everything, gave me all like this nutrition and everything. I was just frothing it, and I was just like, this is so good that like we got someone getting behind this here.
So Fitzy just loves swimming. He's a legend. He's a legend.
Will you like train with him and stuff, or?
I've offered him a few training sessions. Hopefully he comes up and does a few. But yeah, I've done a few swims at Camp Cove while he's been just out there slugging it, going away.
Where did you go to school?
I was year 7 to 10. I was up Central Coast.
Yeah. Central Coast boy.
Grew up Central Coast, and
where in Central Coast?
Grew up in Shelley Beach. Long Jetty, Shelley Beach.
I
love Central Coast. It's like my second home.
Yeah, my grandparents lived there before they passed away. So yeah, I would always like go up there and stuff.
Sick. So then
it's good. It's good up there.
Went to school in East Gosford for a bit, and then came down to Joey. So I was actually out at Joey's.
I went to Joey's. Okay.
For a few years, and then just
play footy there.
Yeah, played a bit of rugby. And just threw myself into a whole bunch of. Just said yes to everything. Just did a whole bunch of shit. It was great, and then made a whole bunch of mates out of it. And then.
So do you just love doing like fucking everything? Like if I gave you something, you'd be like, yeah, mate, why not? Eh?
If it's something I'm interested in, I'm like, I haven't done it before, or like that's kind of like something I'm like, I'm kind of shifting out of that to something else. I'm like, I'll give that a nudge. So that's just Joey's provided me a great opportunity. I just thought I'd try to make the most of whatever I could do, and the only thing that Joey's didn't teach me was how to swim.
So Ned's for.
Yeah, exactly. He can do all my swimming for me.
I'm pretty good, but I can't work miracles.
So do you have any, like, you have a date when you want to do the next Ironman, or just?
I don't know. Probably.
Or you just completely focus just on the bike ride at the moment.
I'll just get into that. I'll jump on the gravel bike as much as I can. I reckon if I did another one, I'd probably be at the back end of this year, I'd say.
Oh shit! Straight back into it.
I'd have the base fitness anyway. If I got the motivation to do it.
Yeah.
It comes down to like just it being motivated. If you got something to work towards, are you doing something as a chore? Because you don't want to be training and you're training just as a chore. It's shit. It's like this is like my spare time.
Do you like love the bike at the moment? Like is that?
The moment it's fun. You get to go see a whole bunch of crap. It's great.
Yeah.
Like this morning, just rode down the M2 Lane Cove Tunnel. It's like, what are you doing? Like.
Why the fuck? Why in the fucking tunnel? It's so random.
So it's dumb, but you just get to see a whole bunch of different stuff.
I went to Penrith the other day, so I'm like fucking driving through there and stuff, and I'm like, you bike ride, that's crazy.
It'd be pretty sick actually. There's a few rides actually that go up from Penrith up the hill. So you play around with the mountains there. I reckon that's something I'd be keen to do just as an weekend.
Give it a go, eh? Why not?
Yeah, it'd be so. Yeah, I suppose in summer it'd be so hot out there. But
would you ever think about adding the bike riding and the run?
We booked in a triathlon at Kalala.
Yeah.
And what happened was it was too big, so they cancelled out the swim.
Yeah.
I remember, I think Declan or Kaz, one of the other boys, called me in the morning, and I was in the car with my mates, and they're like, "Oh, look, mate, they've cancelled the swim. They put a 4K beach run on." And he's sitting next to me, just like, "Fucking shit! I can't believe they fucking done it." And they made it like a 4K beach run, and we got down there, and like me and Jared, who obviously is a great runner as well, we just looked at this like, "Oh my god."
Yeah.
We're in the lock of the day.
You're in deep water.
And then I hopped on did the run alright and hopped on the bike.
Sweet.
I'm no good on the bike. And that last 10k run, I was just suffering, just cramping everywhere. It was pretty hot as well.
Oh, that's so funny.
I've always wanted to do a marathon. Like that was like big goals. Like
marathon,
surely.
Yeah.
But like I'm just like fucking 42k, right?
42k.
That's insane, bro.
It's funny though. It's like but in saying that as well, like people, you'd be amazed how hard people can how far people can push themselves and how much suffering they can.
Bro, I struggled after fucking 8. I would die after the first 100 meters.
Yeah, but then it's like
No, you just
you'd be surprised.
I did it with Jared. And, start of lockdown. It was.
Ned gets his vaccine.
Yeah, I got my second dose of the Pfizer vaccine.
Yeah.
And I go, "Oh, like, is it alright to run?" And she goes, "Yeah, of course, love. But I wouldn't run a marathon."
Oh, no, she don't do it.
And I was just like, well, actually. And then she thought I was taking the piss. So I just went into Centennial and started running.
Fuck,
the rest is history.
Have you done a couple marathons as well? Like,
I've done a few. I've done a few, which was fun. the best one I ever did was New York. New York Marathon was sick.
you did New York Marathon.
That's
cool. Insane.
So, and I went to the UFC the night before and blew myself up.
Who was fighting?
That was
Madison Square.
Nate Diaz and my blank.
Leon Edwards.
No. This is 2018. So
McGregor?
2018 or 19 was it?
Nate Diaz.
Adesanya was on the undercard. He was like just coming up at the time.
2019. Who do you? Was it McGregor?
No, that would have been massive.
Yeah, that would have been.
Those would have been like 10k tickets.
Yeah. So then anyway,
Anyways.
It's funny. I remember getting home at like 2, and I remember having to get on the ferry to go to Staten Island at 6, and I was like, I'm no good.
So when's it round from?
Yeah, what's that?
Where's it round from? Like from Staten Island to the
Staten
city?
Island, you just do all the 5 boroughs basically. So you just run the whole sort of city, and then you finish up in Centennial Park. And I was barbecued. It was actually quite funny because it was timed perfectly. I actually fully blew up, like probably about 100 meters from the finish line. To the point where I was like proper like stumbling around like an idiot and like delusional and like cramping up and like fully bonked. And I was like, thank God that's over.
Yeah.
Someone just gives you like a tinfoil suit and they're like, "Oh, great job." I'm
well
like,
done, mate. Here's your finishing medal.
Yeah, too badly caring. I was like, I just need to sit down. I'm fucking cooked.
Do you get free Nike shit? Because I know it's sponsored by Nike. They should just give you free Nike shit.
But the expos before him are really good, aren't they?
Yeah, we had it was in 2018. I think New Balance had it.
Oh, New Balance.
So New Balance, and I was like, they just had shit colorways, and I was like, god damn it.
Now they've reinvented themselves.
Yeah,
they have.
The 550s and the 990s, the 2000s.
Yeah,
they just bring back all the old shit. So I just only wear Nikes.
No, sweet, big tick.
Let's go. Is there any would you do the London? Would you do the Paris?
Definitely. Paris, I would love to.
Paris would be awesome to run around.
Berlin's a massive one as well.
Yeah.
Tokyo,
Boston,
Chicago. That'd be sick. So yeah, I don't know. I'd definitely give them a crack. I wouldn't. Yeah, I got sort of no rush to jump into them, but yeah, in the next few years for sure.
Yeah, that's mad. Okay, so the next thing we do, it's called the 10. So I ask these 10 questions to everybody, and I want eventually someone to ask these to me because to prove that they've actually watched this long.
Yeah. Bad luck. I'm not doing that.
No, I don't want no. I in the comments, I want someone to come and be like, Sam, what's your responses? Because nobody ever watches the end. But anyways, the first question is, tell us about your most recent social media post and your meaning behind it. You know,
you can go first, Ned.
My latest one was at North Bondi Surf Club after a bit of a big session there. And, I mean, we've had a big night, obviously.
Good lads.
And there was this girl there.
Ned particularly.
There was this girl there. Anyway, it's just like Gus, one of my mates, was obviously idolising over Kai Hurst, as he should, because Kai Hurst is a legend. And this other girl who's a bit of like a social media influencer, who Gus always sends me photos of.
Was she there?
Yeah, she was there.
Oh, mate.
Just to G Gus up, I got a photo with her. So yeah.
Okay, well, I'll be going on your Instagram after this then.
My last post was it was pretty funny. It's one of my really good mates. Good mates. Yeah, basically one of my good mates is the chief marketing officer at 2XU.
Oh man!
And then as part of doing the Ironman, got behind us at sort of 2XU. So it was kind of like a collage of photos of just recent shit, basically. So I busted my knee up, and then it's basically just getting around a whole bunch of my mates and taking the piss out of everything.
So you're gonna be wearing 2XU on the bike race?
Yeah, it's actually pretty sick. We should actually think about it. So they're actually gonna design a kit for us. For the gravel, for the Kansas bike race. So
that's hectic.
I could get like that colorway.
Oh wow.
MTV.
Yeah.
That's a dope shirt, by the way.
Yeah.
That's so sick, mate.
So I don't know. I should actually ask her, figure something out.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was basically my social media is a piss take. I just take the piss out of most.
Yeah, man, I'm the same.
Which is good.
I used to do this thing. I would like post this Instagram story of like a beer every place I go, just like, and I had my cousin's boyfriend was like, Sam, you're gonna like continue this. So I did it with him one time. I like filmed it. I was like, hey, everywhere, just to let you know, I still drink beer. And next one, who's your biggest inspiration?
Myself.
Oh.
No. I did read something the other day.
You should be inspired by yourself.
As you grow up, you kind of lose your people that you idolise. But I'd be lying to say that one of them, Jared Porter, who's obviously a good training buddy of mine. Ever since I was little, always watching him do his thing. And then I've just grown up always wanting to be the best I could. So I've taken a bit of a leaf out of his book and just try to put my head down and swim.
Yeah, that's good.
For me,
yourself?
I'd probably go to like a guy like Henry Rollins or like a fellow like Nick Cave or someone. Someone that's
Who are
like musicians, artists.
Musicians. Oh, okay.
That's pretty gangster, Nick Cave.
Someone that's just like reinvented themselves over many years and then is still obviously passionate about certain things and they just go about things in a very different way to things that you would never usually do. They might be writing books, poetry, writing music, and it's like that's.
I think we'd both be lying if we didn't say "Old Dirty Bastards." One of ours.
ODB.
That band or
Rest
something.
in peace, ODB.
Rest in peace, Old Dirty
Are
Bastards.
they-
Wu-Tang.
Wu-Tang Clan.
You like Wu-Tang Clan?
Wu-Tang Clan.
I never got into it. Never got into them.
I went
Don't know
down
why.
a rabbit hole of like 90s rap. And so is Ned. So it's just like late 90s,
Where you lose
2000s
yourself.
raps.
Mate,
Sick.
I like Ice Cube. That's about it. I don't listen to much old rap when I think about it. No, I just listen to new shit. But like, new shit sometimes is shit. I don't even like in the car now. I'll just chuck on a podcast.
Yeah, I think most people do.
Yeah, I can't be bothered to fucking hear some rap the whole time. I do love rap, but anyways, what's your worst drunk experience? Don't have to get too detailed if you don't want to. Can if you want.
Yeah, I got a good one because I.
Got a couple. More than a couple. Nah, I don't know.
Do you have like a funny story maybe?
Oh, it's funny for other people.
Worst drunk experience. It's just whenever. I think it wasn't our worst, but it's probably just the funnier ones.
Yeah,
it's just last week just being up there, and obviously you have all the top Olympians, and there's a few egos going around as well. And then when you get one of your mates saying that you could all beat him in a 400-meter pool, so it's pretty classic. And it kind of, some of them obviously take it as a joke, and other of them is just like, mate, who are you? Like, I got no clue who you are. So I think that's just one of them. And then just, I mean, you got to laugh it off. So
Yeah, 100%.
Oh god, I blew myself up after the Ironman. No wonder why I couldn't walk the next day. I just obliterated myself on the piss and then Macca's, and then I was like,
I don't want you back in cons. I imagine.
No good.
No.
No bueno.
So my big one, I call it the Newcastle story. I'm not going to get detail because of it, but it was horrible, mate. We were in my grandfather's birthday and we were with the family, and I might have been 8 and a half. It was the first time I got like proper like plastered, and we start at Hunter Valley, drink a lot, head to Newcastle, and then keep drinking, have a night out, and then I'm on the toilet and decided to come up the other way at the same time, and then could not walk the next day at all. Yeah,
no good.
No good. No.
probably got roofied or something.
I probably did or something. To be fair, it was horrible. Here's a fun one. Who was your first celebrity crush? I don't know why I put this in here, but like, I don't know.
Margot Robbie.
Still is.
Yeah, still, yeah, facts. She's bad, mate.
Oh, I'd probably Megan Fox Transformers.
Oh yeah, that's what I say. Yeah.
Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Catherine.
Don't know why.
So random.
Yeah, random.
Mate, fair enough.
Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, actually. No.
Angelina Jolie.
Yeah,
she was fit.
Bang. Done.
Okay, this is a. Actually, what is your favorite activity to do? That isn't swimming or bike riding.
Oh, listening to music.
Yeah.
Listening to music.
Undoubtedly.
Mm-hmm. So
Music.
like, who's like on your play? Like when the Spotify they did the top top 5 or something? Who are your like top 5 artists?
I'm a huge fan of like dream pop, sort of beach house. At the moment. That's kind of all encompassing for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, beach house, and then sort of starting to drift back into a little bit of Jeff Buckley at the moment. Jeff Buckley's sort of getting my attention from other angles of life, so I'm like, yep.
Okay,
I
happy
think
days.
mine went like Wu-Tang, MF Doom, Pink Floyd, Frank Zappa, and then there was someone else. I can't remember who else. Oh, Earl Sweatshirt.
Earl Sweatshirt is sick.
No, I listened to this one MF Doom song. My mate was like, "Oh, you gotta put on Meat Grinder," and I'm just like, "Oh god, nah." I gave it a listen, added to the playlist, and I was like, "Nah, not for me." Haven't played it since.
Yep.
What's the best place you travel to?
South Africa.
How long were you there for?
I've done a month over there all up, so 2 trips.
2 trips.
Yeah. In particular, at the back of Stellenbosch, at the back of Cape Town.
Cape Town.
Awesome.
What do you do?
Coolest place.
What do you do in South Africa?
I did
what did you do?
I did an ultra marathon over there, sort of 2 oceans. So you start at one side and you run to the other side. Basically, it's like a sort of 60k.
Jesus Christ.
Ultra marathon, which is fun. And then just travelled around. It was awesome. It's just a really cool place. I liked it.
Yeah, I'd probably go mainstream and say Hawaii, but honestly, I think my most enjoyable was, instead of going to schoolies when I finished up, we went across Canada in an RV, me and my 2 mates. That got pretty loose, but that was fun seeing the countryside and skiing.
Where in Canada did you go?
We started off in Newfoundland, Labrador area over in St. John's there, and then drove across up through the prairies basically, and finished over in Vancouver.
Yep, I love Vancouver.
It was about a month and a bit, but it was a lot of fun.
Lovely.
During winter as well, got pretty sketchy. Down Detroit, we dropped into Detroit at one moment, and Chirac. That was pretty full on. Camping in an RV outside.
In fucking
pretty
Detroit.
sketchy Walmarts.
That is gold.
Mate, isn't Detroit?
Is Detroit sketchy? Like,
yeah, wasn't it like
we did a few trips down
area?
8 Mile, and then we pulled into a back street.
Just saw Eminem.
Yeah, it was sketchy. And then, I like once, because what happened was we rolled up into Detroit, and then we're like, oh, we won't stay here the night. It's pretty sketchy.
Yeah.
We went in, got like Macca's, and the cops came in, asked us if we were loitering, and then we're like, no. They're like, okay, you get your stuff, go out.
Yeah.
And then we pulled up in like South Chicago, which was pretty bad as well, but compared to Detroit,
South Chicago
nothing.
Isn't it like the number 1 shooting? I'm pretty sure it's like the number 1 shooting rate in America.
Probably.
Yeah,
I think it is. Yeah, it's fucked.
That's hectic.
I went down. We were in downtown LA. Have you heard of Skid Road?
Yes.
We accidentally walked through there. That was
right. It's
nothing happened, but it's just fucking eye opening. Yep. You're like, what the fuck? And we're just me and my brother. We were like walking past, and these 2 cops come up to us, and they're like, Are you guys going the right way? And we're like, yeah, we're going back to a hotel. Didn't mention anything about Skid Road, and we walked through it, and we're like, oh, that's the famous Skid Road. We're the only white, we're 2 little white kids, the only white people there, and mate, it was, I'm not trying to be racist or anything, but mate, it was, I wouldn't say it's scary, but it was just like,
you're on edge.
Very on edge, you have to be there. What are your goals for the next year or 2?
My big goal is obviously to complete the Ocean Sevens, which is the 7 biggest ocean swims around the world.
So how many of them have you done now?
I've done 2. With Molokai will be 3.
3, yep.
And then obviously you just got to do the rest. But then I got to get the funding for that. For now, it's just to try and complete Molokai and just go from there.
Easy, happy days.
For me, I don't know. It's a good question. Redemption on doing an Ironman. That's about it.
Yeah. And where do you see yourself in the next 5? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Horrible question, I know, but just I love it.
Twofold. Mine will either be like I'll pack the whole corporate life up and go and study full time, and then go down sort of the whole sort of academia.
Yeah.
thought leadership route, or the other end will be sort of sticking sort of what I'm doing now with all things sort of sustainability, and then I'm trying to find that blend between how can you have that cross section of like the environment and sustainability, and then that wellness and fitness side of things and training and stuff like that. Sort of how can you get that perfect junction point? What does that job look like? So
there's something out there.
Hopefully.
I assume there's something out there.
Yeah, like for me, it'd just be like signing books and writing books, and obviously no, for me,
writing my autobiography.
It'd just be hopefully finish up my primary school teaching degree, and then
how long do you have left for that?
2 more years. This year.
Ned's going to be a fashion designer. It's been decided.
Finish that. That'd be pretty hectic.
That'd
finish
be mad,
that and
eh?
probably do a little bit of travel or something.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, is there anything you're working on at the moment? Like, that could be like working
myself.
Honestly, it can be that. It's like
not swimming.
My exam was just this. I'm always working on the podcast, but like.
Good. What am I working on?
That's not work.
Yeah.
For me, it's just working on maintenance of body. Maintenance, obviously. With these long swims, you got to make sure you don't pull up injured at all. Bit of that, and then just trying to slog through a uni degree as well. That's the goal.
Working on trying to get more sleep. That's about it.
Yeah. Okay, this is one of the questions I'm curious. What's like a day in the life like at the moment? That's including training, work, university for yourself.
Yeah, mine would be.
And like, what time are you getting up?
So getting up at say 5.
That.
Sort of trying to jump on the bike.
Yeah.
Sort of 5:20.
Yeah.
Some mornings you get up sort of 4:45, 4:40.
Yeah.
So you might start earlier.
Yeah.
But yeah, so 5 till sort of 10 for me. 5 to sort
That's
of 10,
when you're like
10:30.
most brain active as well. That's
So I'll jump on the bike till sort of 7:30ish, 8.
Yeah.
And then sort of start working in between. I'm still checking everything that's been done sort of overnight. So I'll be working sort of from the moment I sort of wake up. I was just sort of monitoring things, and then sort of work from sort of 8:30ish until sort of 5:30, 6:30ish. Really depends. If you have sort of some late night calls, it could be any hours. Like for me, like I could be working from 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. It's just really bizarre. But then I'll try and train in the morning. Work from sort of 5:30, so 8:30ish till like sort of 6ish, on average, and then I'll try and train again or do something sort of in the afternoon, and just listen to a shitload of music in between.
Well, there you go, happy days.
Yeah, I'm like bang awake, 4:50 a.m. every morning, swim 5:30 to 7. Then if I have to work, maybe work 7 to 7:45. Then when uni goes back, we'll probably be at uni. Say like I got to start at like uni 8:30 or so. Get to uni, probably finish up around midday or a bit later, and then come back in the Arvo coach 3:30 to 6. And then rinse and repeat.
Rinse, repeat,
mate. That's it, eh? Okay, here's a fun one. What is something you wish was legal in Australia?
Not guns.
Yeah, it's definitely not guns. It could be something simple as COVID fucking off, with restrictions going away.
Yeah, good one. Actually, no. Parking officers.
Oh yeah.
Pricks.
Mate, yep.
Parking ranges.
That's a first. No one's thought of that, but that's actually unreal.
Yep.
I second that, honestly.
Oh, I do. I rate it.
They're the worst people.
They
suck.
They do, mate.
If you're going to find me, don't be a fucking knob about it.
Yeah.
Like, it's a rude prick.
Hey, any funny ones?
Parking range is pretty bad. I think one time I accidentally parked in no stopping zone. It was because like the sign was covered by a tree. And I came back and this bloke's like $300 later. Like that's
mate, get fucked.
That was just
dog.
Horrible.
Guts.
And this week's W and L. So like, what's your big win of the week? What's your big loss of the week? Well, not big. It doesn't have to be big, but like.
My big win of the week is my old boy's 60th, which I'm going to after this.
Yeah.
So Dad kicking around to 60, he's done well.
Good on him.
I hope he's got a few more years left in him. And
is he 60?
60. I convinced everyone that he's 70.
Yeah, I was looking at that going, fuck, he's 70.
I've convinced probably like 70% of people that my old man's 70. He's actually 60 because he's a battered up old.
He's Australia that you'd had 70.
he's a battered up like old dusty thing. And you're like, fuck, I can't tell if he's 60 or 70.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, mate.
Classic.
And then you can go.
Yeah, no go. I'm still thinking about mine.
My fat loss is suffering this morning on the bike. Actually, no, it's funny. Actually, I'd probably say the biggest loss is still trying to sort of shake the whole post-surgery COVID situation.
Yeah.
It's like frustrating because like you're just not as fit or you're just not where you want to be.
Yeah. Man, I feel that.
Yeah, win of the week is probably going to the gym. Someone telling me that I had good-looking legs on the bike, which I was pretty happy with.
Mate,
it was a bloke though, but like
a bit sus, but
it was alright.
Take
like,
it.
Like, I'll take it. I don't really use
why not,
my legs anyway. And then L of the week was probably just having a bit of a bung shoulder, which I'm just sorting out now. But like
easy.
It's all still going well.
This is the one thing I participate in. W is so getting that job. Because I just quit my other job I was working at because my boss was being a bit of a dick. No. Hopefully he doesn't watch this. And then my L, mate, I was in Penrith and it was a night out and then I had like fuck all sleep, like 2 hours of sleep, and then I went and got on the piss with workmates last night, I was so tired. So tired, mate. But that's it. Is there anywhere, like anything else you want to talk about or promote? Well, go check out Ned's Instagram for all his swimming stuff and go check out Declan's Instagram for all his bike stuff. So what the swim is, when's that? June?
The date that's set is between the 21st and 29th of June. So
you're gonna put that up on your Instagram or something?
Yeah, I did a post about it the other day. Yeah. I should probably focus on a bit more than alcohol. Yeah.
Mate, a couple of beers doesn't hurt anybody. And yourself?
6th of June. 3rd of June or something.
Yeah.
Middle of Kansas, and then I'll go and throw some rocks at Ned when he's swimming.
Good man. Perfect. Okay. You can go, if you're watching the video form, go watch us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. If you're watching the audio, go watch us on YouTube. That's about it, eh? And a new thing. So what are your goals of 2022? This is for the audience. Go comment that down. No one's going to do that, but that's fine. I'm Sam, and this is the Reupload podcast, and we are out. Happy days.
Beautiful.